post red and white scrimmage, and it was the Will Johnson show, continuing to prove that the Arizona Cardinals got a steal in the second round, Johnny Venerable.
Plus, we've got the latest on Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, and more. Are the Arizona Cardinals limping into the preseason? I don't think so. PHNX Cardinals from State Farm Stadium starts now. Hey, welcome in live from State Farm Stadium. No, I don't want to lose my credential. Welcome in. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable, my dear friend and birthday boy, Bo Brack here. No man behind the mic. We appreciate you sticking with us as we're here to break down everything from the Arizona Cardinals red and white scrimmage. So many takeaways, including the 47th overall pick on full display. Plus, we've got big-time injury updates, but welcome, my friend. Happy birthday.
Thank you, my man. I feel like I'm at Texas Roadhouse. Somebody's going to do a song and dance for me, but I appreciate all the love today. Twitter out there on the field. Got to see so many great people in the stands. Thank you for introducing yourself. And what's up, chat? How we doing? Everybody's been waiting around patiently. I love it. The art of being freed. How about Rep Zombie, Tony B, Brian P, Agent 47, T Cleary, Amadeus, Dana Balnor, Ryan Walker, Chubby Stacks. Love it. Turtle Trolls. I know Shaft's in there somewhere. How about Jeff Neve, Rebel Leader? Look, lots going on today, but man, if there wasn't, we were not short on a highlight. At least one to headline the red and white scrimmage. It was 47th overall pick. Let's throw it out the window. That's borderline disrespectful because this is a first-round player in Will Johnson going out there and picking off a Kyler Murray pass today that just really kind of has everybody buzzing about what the Cardinals, what could be with this defense. It's going to be really kind of, it was a bit subdued as far as what we were going to see out there originally. We wanted to see the Marvin Harrison Jr. just playmaking parlay into today, but unfortunately, he's out for his third consecutive practice as they're playing it smart, as JG said today in his press availability with Marv.
Yeah.
But I think he should be back shortly. And then, of course, right at the buzzer yesterday, Michael Wilson knocked out of the scrimmage today. He's in concussion protocol.
Everybody's doing fine. Yeah. Everybody's doing well. This is August 2nd.
Could be doing better, but everybody's doing okay.
Everybody's doing well. This is just normal training camp stuff. They're actually in a pretty good spot injury-wise. And again, this team right now, listen, they lose Starling Thomas. That was the biggest impact injury in terms of the projection of where things are going to be at the cornerback spot for the regular season. You're not going to have Starling Thomas when we know that. Everything else looks like it's trending toward a direction where the Cardinals are going to have some reinforcements here. We continue to hear good things on Walter Nolen's recovery. We continue to hear that the big man could be on track sooner rather than later. Jonathan Gannon kind of alluded to that in the SI article that he had just a couple of days ago. Then you see Walter Nolen jumping around with his teammates today. I'm told it's just a matter of time before Walter Nolen's out there. And then, again, Marv, I would expect Marv back sooner rather than later. Michael Wilson's going through concussion protocol. No reason to rush him back. He looked fantastic. James Conner, Calais Campbell getting routine days off. I mean, the Cardinals are so deep at so many positions. Sans wide receiver. And we did kind of feel that today. I mean, you don't have Marvin Michael out there. It's a lot of 12, 13 personnel. It's a lot of running backs, tight end, checkdowns. But overall, yes, it's disappointing, I'm sure, for fans that came out today looking for a show. But I think this is the appetizer before the 17-game regular season. The Cardinals are right on their way to where they want to be.
Yeah, they've got to weather now 3 games, and they're going to have to learn a lot about trying to sift through, as you mentioned, this deep roster, one that we've talked about where it's the deepest roster we've seen maybe since getting to the Valley of the Sun.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people want to push back and say 2015, that was a very star-studded roster, no doubt about it, but I think from top to bottom, as far as trying to figure out and get to that number from 90 to 53, might be a coaching staff, a front office, tasked with the biggest challenge of doing so, because I think they've got, so many guys that can make an impact and find a role on this team. And on both sides of the football, you think about like the starting 11 on defense. You think about the starting 11 on offense. But, what do we know about Gannon, Rollis, Petzing is that if you've got a jersey on game day, you've got a role. So it's like you're going to find yourself, even if you're not getting your name called to start the game, a significant role on each side of the ball.
Yeah, I think we're allowed to say this. Like we chatted with Nick Rollis briefly before the show today, and basically he alluded to that as much. Like they go so deep defensively, they don't really have a set like starting lineup specifically like for their front seven. There are so many guys that just put it into my notes that you can read right now at gophnx.com if you're a diehard. If you watch the Arizona Cardinals defensive line, they play 10 snaps, you could get 10 combinations. Yeah. And it's a good problem to have. That was not the case in years prior. Like outside of like Darius Robinson, who looks like, the Incredible Hulk, Superman, whatever you want to call it out there, LJ Collier, Dante Stills, Calais was off today, Dalvin Tomlinson, Elijah Simmons. These guys all rotate. Yeah. And so it really bodes well for this team. And then Walter Nolen's going to be the same thing. And then you look at, we get a lot of questions about like off-ball linebacker. We're big Cody Simon fans, and he had a great OTA camp, and I eventually expect him to play a lot. When they're running off-ball linebacker in a lot of base sets, it's just one linebacker. Yeah. And then we saw Owen Papo play a lot today. Simon played, and then Akeem Davis-Gaither. So, again, 22 guys, almost kind of doubling up your starting 11 defensively. But that back end, it's a little bit more solidified. And that's where I kind of want to transition now. We put it in the show.
Can I make one point?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, you say the defensive line, and then I'll push that back out to the defensive front seven.
Yeah.
Like, Mac Wilson is going to be the constant out there, right? Mm-hmm. He's going to be your Mike linebacker. He's going to have the green dot. He's going to be the one relaying Rollis' play call to the defensive huddle. But outside of that, like even the edge rushers, you're going to have a steady rotation of Sweaty J and Zaven Collins and at some point hopefully B.J. Ojulari and Jordan Birch, maybe Xavier Thomas if he can crack this roster, and then you mix that with what's going up front. You got the offensive trenches for the opposing offense. Mm-hmm. They're not going to know what they're going to see on any given down.
That's right.
And I think that, it's not going to be a confusion, every week where it's going to really kind of throw them off. But, you put a different body and skill set, and that can throw you for a loop on what to expect down in and down out.
You're exactly right. The Cardinals love their four-man rotation at defensive end right now, and again, that front seven to me, we really won't see it on full display until the start of the regular season. But you'll get an appetizer. You'll watch them go up against Kansas City and Denver these next couple of weeks. I expect a lot of these premier players to play because of the competition, right? Like, you can't just anoint one person. Like, I think unless your name's Darius Robinson or Josh Sweat, like, you're out there, you're battling, right? And that's what the Cardinals defensive line was missing the last couple of years. It was basically like holding on for dear life with a lot of the players that they had that are subsequently not here anymore. But let's turn our attention to this back seven, specifically the secondary and the 47th. I almost said 14th. He should have been the 47th overall pick in last April's NFL draft. This scrimmage, it was a fun day. The Cardinals do it right here at State Farm Stadium. Was lacking some juice, and we got it eventually. Not on the offensive side, but on the defensive side. It was a play, a curl route, I believe, a comeback to Zay Jones, who's been having a good camp, caught a touchdown today, and it was jumped by Freak Show Will Johnson off of Kyler Murray, interception, diving play. You've probably seen it on social media. Yeah. It's on your Twitter account. It was unequivocally the best play of his training camp, and then certainly the best play today, and it just kind of underscores, like, this is a special player the Cardinals have, as a rookie coming into camp.
I mean, you've got a nuanced route runner in Zay Jones who can play all three positions. Mm-hmm. It's been out there and seen it all, done it all as far as his NFL career goes. You've got Kyler Murray, a veteran quarterback, throwing him the football, and you've got a first-year guy. A guy hasn't even played his first professional game, going out there and doing something that not a whole lot of corners in this league could do. He jumps right in there, and it takes the football away. And a couple things go into this. I
Yeah.
mean, just how he read the play and then how he reacted to it, and then also just the physicality, just his sheer size.
Yeah.
You know, a guy that I think matches up very well with Zay Jones, who's about 6'1", 6'2". So is Will Johnson himself, and he goes and just plucks that ball out of the air. I mean, this is going to be somebody that's going to be able to be special for this Cardinals defense. We said this, post-drafting him and his fall, his unfortunate fall for him, but fortunate for the Arizona Cardinals, was this is a franchise-altering type of draft pick, right?
Yeah.
It's you got in the second round a guy who is a first-round talent.
Yes.
And he's showing every bit of that early here in camp.
He's picked up the baton left by Walter Nolen, right? Like,
Sure.
we haven't had Walter Nolen. We haven't been able to see him consistently since OTAs. He will be back, hopefully soon. And Will Johnson's like, hold my beer, hold my Gatorade.
Right.
I don't even know if Will Johnson's 21.
Hold my
honestly.
chocolate milk.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Hold my, my protein shake. He is out here, and we had a conversation after the play. It's that play today, and
Everybody was having conversations about that
no,
play.
you and I specifically, only
Right.
us. It emphasized why we love the NFL draft and why we cover it, and your hope and aspirations for a draft pick. Is you spend 3 months, we're breaking it down with Fran Duffy, we're bringing Mike Garafolo on, who are the top 30 guys, and we had spent a lot of time on Will Johnson. But, leading up to the draft, it was, will he fall to 16, right? Is there any chance? And I didn't even love the idea of going corner at 16, but you routinely said, well, you have to take him if he's there just because he's clearly the best player. Mm-hmm. And then about 2 weeks before the draft, you started to hear things that the teams were souring on his medical. And mock draft after mock draft, he was falling behind the Arizona Cardinals. He was going in the 20s, right? He was going in the 30s. And then we fast forward, he doesn't go in the first round. He's sitting there, unequivocally the best player available entering day 2, right? And then lo and behold, at pick 47, the Cardinals said, enough of this screwing around.
Yeah.
That percentage Ossenford said, less than 1% that he was going to be
Right.
there.
Yeah, Gannon's going to the analytic crew in the scouting department, and
Right.
they're giving him the Mary Swanson to Lloyd Christmas, odds.
Yeah.
Like, what are the chances this guy's going to be here, 14 picks into the second round? And they're like, yeah, more like 1 in a million. Like,
Right.
microscopic odds.
Every year you hear like, well, guys fall in the draft. There's a reason so-and-so's available. There was no reason that Will Johnson should have been available, not even at 47 in the second round. When you've got Maxwell Hairston going to the Buffalo Bills, congratulations, you played yourself, you overthought it.
John A. Barron.
Right. As long as he is healthy, and he's healthy right now, this will be a star player for the Arizona Cardinals. That interception today, which caught everybody by surprise. His head coach went up to him afterward. Kyler Murray, if you saw Darren Urban's tweet, gave him his flowers. That is a big-time, championship-level type of play, championship dating back to his time at Michigan, that the Cardinals sorely need on their defensive back seven. They have not been able to take the football away. He possesses a skill set that they just have not had since Patrick Peterson.
When things go right, and you just make a better play.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the type of player he is. Like
Right.
when Kyler does his job and Zay does his job, and then here comes Will Johnson and just making a better play. That's what turns heads in this league. That's kind of what the difference is between a serviceable cornerback and a guy that's going to be able to help your defense out, get the ball back in your offense's hands. I know it's it's Cardinal on Cardinal crime here, but it's something that just gives you a lot of hope for what Will Johnson can bring to this defense. Like, I'm no longer going to call him the 47th overall pick. You wear that as a badge of honor as a Cardinals fan because he fell into your lap. You give not only flowers to the player himself but also to Monty Ossenfort, who now like Garrett Williams, who had medical flags. Just like the players that he's so far in his 3-year tenure. It has not taken a chance on, made the smart move and just entering the card for these caliber of players.
We briefly saw and touched base with Jonathan Gannon before the show, and my co-host and I brought up that play, emphasized great route run by Zay Jones.
Yeah.
It was a great route, who's having a great camp. It was a great throw by Kyler Murray. It was just a special play by the DB.
Noah, do we have the play? Can we show it? I saw Kay Gordon wants to see it. I think everybody wants to see it. It's just a play here as we see at State Farm Stadium out there on the grass.
I mean, you can tell here, and we'll loop it a couple times, just the way he turns his hips and assesses with his eyes before Zay Jones is even out of his break, right, where the ball is going. I mean, like, Zay Jones, I'm going to be honest, really just had no shot. Like, and again, not a knock on Zay Jones. He turns his hips lightning fast, and then something that's not talked about enough, at least like nationally, I remember with Will Johnson had a lot of interceptions. Like, his ball skills are elite.
Yeah.
Like, he may have a lot of interceptions. They are not interceptions that were gimmies. If you look back to his time at Michigan, taking the football away. Right now on certain sports books, I looked before the show, he's plus 3,000 to win defensive Rookie of the Year. And listen, a lot goes into that, whether or not your playoff team plays into it. Like we saw with the Rams last year, your total defense, where you stand on it. But, I mean, like, you see that right now. This is their first, like, live reps, scrimmage-wise, that they've done in some time, right? Outside of your traditional 11-on-11.
Right.
Like, and he has an interception. Like, how many picks is this kid going to have this year? He is clearly their number one outside corner right now.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff. The fact that Maxwell Harrison has a higher Madden rating than him. It's criminal. It's criminal, and that's on the league. That's on the league. In the 31 teams that had, paralysis by overanalysis, looking at a medical chart, and I know, there's some long-term, concern there.
Yeah.
But, as a guy that can make an impact right away, that's what you're passing on. Unbelievable stuff from Will Johnson, the red and white scrimmage. More takeaways from the Cardinals' top dress rehearsal before the preseason kicks off a week from today right here at State Farm Stadium against the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's get into all that coming up on the other side here, PHNX Cardinals.
But first, let me tell you about our friends at Monarch Money. Again, Will Johnson money for the Arizona Cardinals. What's going on with your money? Start managing your finances to build the life that you actually want. Again, want season tickets to the Arizona Cardinals? Let's budget. Let's get you those season tickets. Let's get you the home of your dreams and more. Again, the finance tool that people love. Join over 1 million households that are part of the app right now. Is named Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025. The top recommended personal finance app by users and experts with over 30,000 five-star reviews. Seems pretty good to me. Again, financial stress is one of the top reasons relationships fall apart. Monarch Money makes conversations easier. Track shared and individual accounts, set goals together, and keep money check-ins drama-free. Plus, you can even get hooked up with a financial advisor and a tax pro. No extra charge. Keep those charges down. Get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use the code PHNX at monarchmoney.com in your browser. You first half of this year, half off. Again, 50% off first year at monarchmoney.com with the bonus code PHNX. Upgrade and update your financial acumen today.
It's always kind of a tough start to the month because it's like, you got the bills,
right?
You're paying the bills, but it was a welcome sight for me. Just the other day, opened up my energy bill from July, and man, was it looking a lot better than it usually does at this time of a year, because of course the temperatures go up, so do the costs as far as that energy bill. Not the case with us over at APS. We love what they're doing over there, and they're trying to keep those costs low for you. How are they doing it? Well, they're providing you a smart thermostat as low as $0 that you can have in your home and installed by their professionals over there at APS, and then they're going to enroll you in their Cool Rewards program, and they're going to take that smart thermostat and they're going to work with you to keep those energy costs as low as possible, because it's so important this time of year. Nearly half the energy costs come from cooling and heating. Smart thermostat can help manage your bills along with the APS Cool Rewards program. If you already have a smart thermostat at home, well, they can see if it's eligible to enroll the Cool Rewards program. But otherwise, you can get one for as low as $0 from our friends over at APS. Plus, that free install available at marketplace.aps.com. That's marketplace.aps.com. Must be an APS customer to pay shipping and taxes, but other restrictions apply. Go to marketplace.aps.com for all the information.
Additional takeaways from the practice today. I know we got asked a lot, like, do they stream this event? They do not. We've got some highlights. We're going to get to them here later in the show. Jonathan Gannon met with Bo and I and the rest of the media here and talked about a couple maintenance days for James Conner, Calais Campbell. So they were not out there. Michael Wilson is in concussion protocol, and then Marv coming back from the knee soreness. So they were lacking some star power offensively. Anything additional stand out for you during the scrimmage that we haven't talked about?
We saw a little bit of John Gaines in with the ones, the first team offense. But like Gannon said a couple times during his availability, like they're going to rotate guys in.
Yeah.
Right. So not much to do there. When you start to look at like you're down, like we talked about this with the wide receiver room.
Yeah.
Like Zay was already filling a void left by Marv. And now he's also trying to help fill a void left by Michael Wilson. That depth at the wide receiver position is being pushed here early in camp.
Yeah.
And it's tough to think about. You don't want to think about a reality where you don't have either one or both of those playmakers on the outside.
Yeah.
Because then you're just limited to Trey McBride, and then going to have to lean heavily on Greg Dortch or Xavier Weaver or Zay Jones.
The difference in the offensive and defensive depth, I think, is pretty stark when you look at, like, I think we're bullish on the Cardinals offense when it's healthy, right? And then you start losing playmakers, and it doesn't go 20 to 22 guys deep like the defense does. And this defense is going to get Walter Nolen back soon. They're going to get, eventually, B.J. Ojulari. We get questions on B.J. Ojulari pretty consistently. Jonathan Gannon says he's doing great. His recovery's doing great. He was asked by Teo Mackey of AZ Central, like, is he going to be ready for the opener? And JG obviously was non-committal, just taking it one day at a time. And listen, I know people are frustrated because it's like, how is somebody like Will Hernandez cleared, but B.J. Ojulari is not cleared with his ACL? Everybody's different. The Cardinals are so deep that pass rusher now, again, not proven, but deeper, where it's like, let's not rush him back. But, like, it sounds like kind of reading between the tea leaves, like, we're going to fast forward to, like, the first couple weeks of the regular season. The Cardinals are going to be really in great spot health-wise with a lot of their defensive playmakers. Offensively, like, you can't afford Marvin Harrison Jr. obviously to go down, or Michael Wilson to go down. You have to take immense caution with these guys, and I just think we feel it more with the offense because, I don't know how many teams have like 4 great receivers, but this defense now has been equipped with so much talent that, okay, we can lose Starling Thomas. Here comes Will Johnson, right? Like, there is no equivalent to Marv. And so you, on days like today, you want to put on a great show for your fan base. And it's a great event. It's free. The Cardinals, it's A+ the way they do this with the red and white scrimmage. But you also have to weigh, like, we got to have guys ready to go if certain players play next week. And then we go to Denver. Let's see Marv versus Patrick Surtain in the joint practice. So there's a lot riding on this, and it's a fine line to walk if you're the team.
Right. Like the analogy of, like, you lose the battle, but you still have the war, right? But this is like a skirmish. This is a bar fight, right? And so to not have your top playmakers at this stage, the more and more like we talk about it and we see it, just being around State Farm Stadium during training camp, like you get the sense that Marv is more of like a maintenance thing.
Yeah, very much so.
Being smart, and then Michael Wilson is just unfortunate. It's just a crappy thing that happens, right? He makes contact on a bang play with Buda Baker, and Buda Baker is inhuman. It's freakish. He was out there on the field after taking, a helmet to the knee. But, Michael, we saw him out there. He was in good spirits. He seems like he's somebody that's going to be probably on the shorter end of the concussion protocol, even though that's something that's never an exact science. But just looking at him, it looks like he's in good shape.
Yeah, Buda Baker. I mean, like, you can't say enough about it. Like, he could have easily taken today off. Was shaken up yesterday with his knee going into Michael Wilson's helmet. He is literally like, we talked about it before the show, like Larry Fitzgerald never missed time. It's like the equivalent of that. He's always available, consummate pro, professional, and again, like puts on a show for this fan base. And so that's why he's back. That's why the Cardinals are like, we're not going to screw around with this. We got to have number 3 back. And speaking of the safety room, it was interesting. Jonathan Gannon was asked about, like, we're seeing a lot of these guys year 2, year 3, sometimes year 1 if you're Will Johnson, like taking that next step in their development and playing a lot. And JG was asked about Rabbit Taylor Demerson and basically like, how's he doing? And Gannon's like, he's doing good. Do we have that bite? Let's go ahead and play it.
Interchangeable parts, and they can all do multiple things. So obviously we do that for a reason. One, to get Rabbit on the field because he's a really good player. He just happens to be behind 2 really good players, but when you look like who can impact the game, Rabbit's a guy that's in that conversation because he can take away the ball. So we always look to have, have ways for him to get on the field. But those three guys, they have unique skill sets where one's not a box safety, one's not a post safety, one has to play here. Like, they can all kind of do it all. So that's nice. And then with deploying them, how Nick deploys them is you can create some matchup problems for the offense when you do that. So I like that package.
I mean, undeniable player. That's what you like first. Like, Rabbit Taylor Demerson is forcing the issue. Like, you have two legit safeties in Jalen Thompson and Budda Baker, and Rabbit Taylor Demerson is forcing his way onto the field. Now, of course, like, what do we know about the Cardinals? They love versatile players. They love to be multiple. But, as far as DTD, like, this is a guy that is forcing them to, run with these, big nickel packages, I guess you call them, the three safety look. Like, and they're going to really kind of have that throughout their defensive playbook.
One of the most underrated storylines of training camp, Jalen Thompson's having a good training camp.
Yes.
He was hurt last year. We've talked to people close to Jalen, and he toughed it out, and he stuck through it, but it clearly, like, he was not the same player. He was like the Cardinals' defensive MVP in 2023. Mm-hmm. And then last year was hampered by injury, had an interception practice the other day. Like, Jalen Thompson's not just going to say, even though he's making good money, like, hey, Taylor Demerson, just take my job.
Right.
And the Cardinals are like, well, let's do this. No disrespect to the other off-ball linebackers that we have, but let's just go single linebacker with Mack Wilson, who's a freak, and let's go three safeties because Taylor Demerson is going to force his way onto the field. Gannon calls him a really good player that just has two really good players in front of him.
Yeah.
Think about that for a guy who, like, barely played last year because of who's in front of him. So you guys tell me, how do you interpret that? I interpret that they saw it every day in practice, like, God, how do we get this guy into the lineup? And they spent, you heard Rollis talking about the playbook the other day, they probably spent all offseason like, we got to get 42 on the field.
Well, we talked to multiple people in the pre and the post-draft about a prospect and now player in Robert Taylor Demerson from Brian Balding or Baldy and our guy Trevor Sikkema, who loved him out of Texas Tech. The playmaking ability, the ball hawking, and then also how cerebral he is and how he processes. It's just like the bigger guys like Darius and especially Marvin Harrison Jr., you talk about how things can slow down for them in year two. That includes Rabbit Taylor Demerson. Yeah. Things could slow down for him, and the more and more playing time he gets, the more he's going to look like the prospect that you projected, and that's a guy that takes the football away. So now you add that with Will Johnson. Garrett Williams already exists. Mm-hmm. Like, you're going to see an uptick, I think, in takeaways from this defensive secondary.
I mean, it's a special unit. And then, like, listen, like, Keitrell Clark was out there. I thought Denzel Burke looked solid again. Like, Keaton Crawford's going to be a fixture on special teams. I think he makes this roster. Yeah, the defensive back seven, like the front seven, frankly, is filled with guys that we feel like are freak shows that can make a difference, that can take the football away, negative plays. Other quick takeaways from camp before we go to break. I thought Jacoby Brissett was really good again today. I thought he had a beautiful deep ball. He hit Xavier Weaver, couldn't bring it in, unfortunately. You got to make those plays. But Jacoby Brissett, to me, it's like he takes the plays that are there to be made. He is not turning the football over. He is not Tyler Shuck scattershot at Saints training camp. It's very steady, and that's exactly what you need from the backup quarterback position. I'm excited to watch Jacoby Brissett play with Xavier Thomas and Palmer and some of these guys. Let's get Higgy Bear in there with him against Kansas City. We don't know if the starters are going to play at all, against Kansas City and Denver. So the more Jacoby Brissett that I can see, I'd be excited about that, especially like Trey Benson. Trey Benson got the bulk share, the workload. It's hard in these practices when you're not bringing guys down. Like, a running back is such a timing and rhythm kind of position, fighting through extra yards. Like, you don't really do that in a scrimmage. So, again, it was tough to kind of navigate. I got some questions on Twitter via DMs, like, how's Trey Benson look? I think he's had a good camp.
Yeah. He's up, 9 pounds?
Yeah.
So he's got a little extra weight on him. And then, he's a guy that was a sub 440 guy coming out of Florida State. He's got good speed. It's Jacoby Brissett, what I bet he's pumped about is that Will Johnson is firmly with the first team.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to go out there and look out for zero. So probably a good thing for the quintessential backup. I think he's elevated. There's added value to that quarterback room.
We got some added value in the form of some highlights right around the corner. Again, get the likes up. 500 likes is the goal here on a State Farm Stadium post-game show. Johnny and Bo will be right back. I'll tell you what I'm going to do on my drive home, right? My fam's, they're doing a play date, right? I'm on my own for dinner. I know where I'm going to head. Circle K, baby. Meal deal matrix. I'm not looking to pay a premium, right? How about saving money for some great food via the $3 meal deal? Nothing's $3 anymore unless you go to Circle K. They've got a hot dog or a tornado, Frito-Lay's chips, and a Polar Pop up to 44 ounces. I got a long drive back to the East Valley. I'm going to caffeinate up with the $4 meal deal. They've got the breakfast Sammy, hash brown, 16-ounce Bang C4 energy drink. That'll get you going. That'll get the blood pumping. And then the coup de grace, the chef's kiss. I'm going to get this on a football Sunday in the future coming near you. The $5 meal deal, 2 slices of their pizza. It's big pizza. Looks huge. And then, again, 20-ounce soda or Polar Pop, 44 ounces. Again, $3, $4, $5 meal deal, whatever you're fancy. Hell, you can go all 3 and pay under $10. You love to, under $15. You love to see that. Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply. We're at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for more details. Again, went to Fantastic Four a couple weeks ago. Snuck in all the goodies, all the snacks from my friends at Circle K. And again, I'm not paying a premium. I'm sneaking it in, and you should too.
Unbelievable. I might see you there at Circle K. Let's meet there.
Let's do it.
Load up on some snacks. Also, here in the West Valley, out here in Glendale, we're so close to, of course, Phoenix Raceway, just down the road in Avondale. Check them out right now in the marker calendars. NASCAR Championship Weekend, October 31st through November 2nd. Yeah, that's going to be a big weekend, of course, for Valley sports fans. Check it out at Phoenix Raceway. It's an unbelievable place to take the family. You don't want to miss out on it as NASCAR. They, of course, get ramped up. It's such high stakes on the line there as far as out at the Phoenix Raceway. Don't want to miss out on your chance to witness the NASCAR Championship Weekend in person. Coming to Phoenix Raceway October 31st through November 2nd. Tickets, Sunday's Cup Series Championship, they sell out every year. So move fast, get yours now, and before they're gone. Here's the kicker. NASCAR's taking Championship Weekend on the road in 2026. It's unfortunate for us, but look, this is your last chance to get in there. Don't miss out on this. So this is your last chance to Phoenix for a while. Check them out. Tickets, hospitality, upgrades still available. Get yours now. PhoenixRaceway.com. That's PhoenixRaceway.com.
You guys have been patient. Hammer that like button. We've got over 330 watching live on YouTube alone. We appreciate all of you. I'm going to turn the attention to producer Noah. Noah Man's going to narrate these highlights that he took. These are elite. Noah Man, take it away.
All right, here we go. We got Kyler Murray throwing the football. Oh, look at Will Johnson there stretching. Look at him go. He's probably going to have a big play coming up. That's just a hunch. Oh, wow. Zay Jones, nice route. Oh, yoink. Out of here. Will Johnson, U of M. Nice play.
Are these the Looney Tune highlights?
Oh, yeah. There, Will Johnson dapping up Rabbit and then talking to Gannon, talking to Kyler. Ooh, there's our offensive coordinator. Ooh, Greg Dortch. Ooh, 82. Ooh, 86, I think is Jackson. 39, not sure.
Okay.
All right, there's Elijah Higgins, deep ball. Bam, nice catch, dog. All right, there we go. We got Jacoby Brissett to maybe DJ Dallas, maybe? I don't know. Oh, Buda Baker and slow-mo. Nice.
Love it.
Wow.
Trey Benson. Oh, Trey Benson handoff, get stuffed. Then we get another Trey Benson handoff, got stuffed yet again. Tough day, I guess. There's Cody Simon. Nice little tackle and roll. Oh, Marvin Harrison jogging on the field. Little punt return. Bang. Monty Ossenfort and the owner of the Cardinals, Darius Robinson, walking onto the field. He had quite a good day. Bam, just knocking over some dolls there.
I need that black shirt that all the players have. That Gannon wears.
Yeah.
They would give me one. I'd like that.
They look pretty sick.
These highlights are sick. You know what?
Was that it?
No, we're still going.
I'm going to talk over them real quick. Can I just say this? Baron Browning's having a good camp. I might have to eat some crow on Baron Browning. Baron Browning had a tackle for loss today off the edge. It was like the first or second play of the team drill. I mean, he and Darius Robinson, Josh Sweat ought to be able to provide some pressure. This team, and we got some great highlights here that we just wrapped. Thank you, my guy.
He's like a prepubescent Howard Cosell. I mean that in the best way.
But he's a fully grown adult man. In all seriousness.
Was that Yoinks? What was it?
Yoink.
Yoink, yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There we go.
Noah, man, crushing it. We are unable to see the highlights in real time, so we had Noah narrate that for us.
Right.
But Baron Browning, TFL against Trey Benson. He was in the starting base defense. And then, like, Zaven Collins came in, and they're gonna mix in Zaven Collins and those two for sure. Like, Sweaty J's on one side, then you got Baron Browning. But Baron Browning, I tweeted this on Twitter. He's been tied at the hip with Josh Sweat. And I just put this in my notes at gophnx.com, but like I do think that because there's no pressure, because he's not asked to be the guy. Remember last year, they traded for him, and he did some good things. I'm not going to knock everything he did, but like there were no robust statistical numbers in terms of sacks, right? Like I think what's a good year for Baron Browning, because right now he's trending in a direction. Rallis loves him. Gannon talks about him nonstop. He's a player that firmly flying under the radar for this team a little bit.
I think just watching him on full display, I think the expectation, the bar should be set high. Like
You think so?
He should,
Okay.
I think he should be a 10-sack guy.
Wow, really?
But if he comes in and he gets 7.5 sacks, I think that you should be and does the things that they want their outside linebackers to do. You know, obviously it's more than just getting after the quarterback. You know, obviously we had the conversation with the head coach, and Johnny talked to him about sacks, and JG said sacks not a winning stat for them. Obviously they value the ball, but, you know, sacks I think can also paint a picture for you. And I think that Baron Browning, as far as what he's put on display and just how he's kind of rolling in this defense, I think he's capable of 10. But
that's nuts.
You do think it's nuts?
I think I don't think it's nuts. I think you are often the more conservative one between us, and it's nuts how bullish you are on.
But I think the talent is there.
You do.
But obviously
he's just never put it all together.
He's never put it together. I think there was like a 5-week run in Denver where I think he was able to rack him up, and then, you know, everything outside and in between that has been you want more, and you have to look at the next statistics, like the pressures, the hurries, and all that. But
I think if he gets to 7 sacks, that's a really good year. I think in this defense where Zaven is getting 4 or 5 sacks, a guy like Dennis Gardeck was getting about 6 sacks. Like, I think our expectation for Sweat is let's get to double digits, right? Sign $41 million guaranteed. If the guy on the opposite side who's playing about 60 to 70% of the snaps right now, if he gets to 7+ sacks and has some TFLs and gets some pressures, that's a damn good year, especially when you consider, I mean, like, no disrespect, he's not playing for Josh Sweat money.
Right.
He had a very conservative, team-friendly deal.
Yeah.
But he's smart enough, 26 years old, like, well, if I play well this year, I bet they rework that. Or I can hit free agency in 2 years at 28 under Jonathan Gannon and Nick Rallis, and I can go cash in for the first time in my career. He had fallen out of favor, unfortunately, with Sean Payton and Vance Joseph. Like, we know what that's like. Vance Joseph can be very stingent with his players, right? He's got his own guys.
And the rise of some players.
Right, for sure. Nick Benito or whatever. Benito, excuse me. And the Cardinals like, nope, we love Ohio State guys. We love his tape. Let's bring him in here. The advanced metrics people, they love him. The analytic people, they love him. Now, I was skeptical last year because the Cardinals, they needed pressures, but they needed people to finish plays. I think that when you watch Darius and you watch Josh Sweat and eventually Walter Nolen and Calais, when those guys are able to help him finish, I think that is going to be the passing of the baton in real time of Baron Browning does not have to win one-on-one consistently and finish a play alone. I think he could have some cleanup sacks because he's such a freak athlete that, again, he is the biggest benefactor of the remade defensive line for the Cardinals. Yeah,
and look, they should be playing with more leads too, right?
Yes.
Yep. That benefits a lot of pass rush units. You could just pin your ears back a little bit. 10, it might shock people. Like, I just see what's on display, what I think he's capable of doing.
He's
now,
had a great camp.
A lot changes in the NFL, right?
Yep.
Like, some offense gets, utilizes their tape correctly, and they could subdue a guy like Baron Browning's. But like what I see, I think it's capable. I wouldn't be shocked by it. That's really all I'm saying is. But I'm more with you, like 7.5, 8, like that should be, I think, the floor for a guy like him.
Well, to back you up, it's hard to sack the quarterback, but to back you up, like, he fits the profile of what this team has done with journeyman guys in the NFL, and not journeyman guys that are over 30 that are outside their prime. What they do with Yelda Froholt? What are they doing right now with Mack Wilson Sr., who we feel like is on the verge of a really special season, right? They have taken these guys that are considered, once upon a time, high prospects. Froholt was a higher prospect, mid-rounder, and Mack Wilson Sr. was coming out of Alabama. Like, these guys that played big-time college football, and Baron Browning played at Ohio State. It's like, it just didn't click with their first team. Let's get him into our program. Let's not ask him to do too much, but let's emphasize what you do well. And so, yeah, I mean, listen, I didn't love the acquisition at the time because the team was 6-4, and I'm like, where's the juice with this?
Yeah.
But I like it a hell of a lot more now, given the fact that Josh Sweat's on the opposite side. Absolutely.
What do we think like total number of sacks for this defense should be? Because last year was 41. You think they can eclipse 50?
I do, unequivocally, because I think last year you saw it was...
No, did you want to say something?
Yeah, 168.
No, interesting. It's quite the take. I think 50's realistic because I think this defense is going to play with a lead. I think it's going to have ample opportunities with the amount of depth that they have. I don't know if two players could have double... I think if one player doesn't have double digits, that would be disappointing. But even if several do not, I think you're going to see a mix of, as we mentioned, Zaven and Baron Browning and Walter Nolen and Calais all collectively chip in 5 to 6 sacks here and there, and that adds up. Mack Wilson Sr. could have 5 to 6 sacks. On blitz packages, I consistently see him working on stunts with the defensive linemen. Just the other day, on Thursday's practice, it was him blitzing behind Dalvin Tomlinson, Darius Robinson. Like, who wants to stop that? So I think it's very realistic. I'd be disappointed if they didn't eclipse 50.
They're going to be bringing the pressure, and can they ratchet it up? They're going to have an opportunity against some bad offenses, like right out of the gates. Like it could rival like the first game under Gannon in Washington, where they had 6 sacks.
Yeah,
I mean that's going to be, whether it's Shuck or Rattler, there's going to be a ton of opportunity to get after the quarterback to open up the season.
Like, hey, we know when Walter Nolen plays, what was his biggest trait that we emphasized during draft season is his ability to disrupt in the passing game.
Yeah.
Like, Darius was more so a high floor guy, power player that could do everything well. Walter Nolen projects as a guy that eventually could reach 6 to 8 sacks as a disrupting 3 technique, which is just like a bar of gold in the NFL. And so, again, how quickly can he come back from injury and contribute? B.J. Ojulari is the ultimate wild card. And I see people, again, I want to emphasize this, disappointed with where he's at. I think the team with their, acquisitions this offseason, Browning, Sweat, Jordan Birch, are doing right in a weird way by B.J. Ojulari to say, B.J., we got a rotation now of 4 or 5 guys we like. Come back when you're ready.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to help us. Even if he's not fully up to speed and clicking on all cylinders in October, guess what? This team's schedule is soft to open the year. They started fast last year. Wouldn't it be great to have B.J. Ojulari playing really well?
Right.
I don't know, in Cincinnati to end the year, at L.A. Like that. That's where teams are desperate, where the Cardinals were desperate last year. So you can never have enough pass rushers. I don't want to count their chickens before they hatch, but do you need B.J. Ojulari week 1 against New Orleans or week 2 against Carolina? I think they're in a good enough spot.
Yeah, it certainly alleviates, I think, pressure that you've seen the last 2 years, for guys that have been used top 50 picks to select, and B.J. Ojulari and Darius Robinson, who suffer unfortunate injuries, and they press to get themselves back. I don't think there's any internal pressure from the organization. I don't think there's anything that should be looked at seriously. It's just, hey, I was selected in the top 50. I was selected in the first round. I want to get out there and start and help this this defense that's struggling. Now it's just hey, I can just get in there and fit in, and I can just play my game.
Shaft putting in the chat, today's the 1-year anniversary of BJ's injury. And I remember that day because I looked at it, and we've done this we've been fortunate to do this post game here the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And for the last 2 years, we've come on this show, and really the back half of this show has been at State Farm Stadium. What external move did they need to make?
Yeah.
What acquisition? I'm sitting here right now, and I won't speak for my co-host, but this team is set. They have depth. They don't need to go out and make a move. We talked about like Amari Cooper. Like if an injury to a receiver was significant enough, they're not signing outside receivers. They're fine. Those guys are going to be back soon. This team is well positioned to handle a lot of different injuries. So again, like you and I have heard good things on BJ Ojulari's recovery.
Yeah.
Let him recover. Like again, he's a young kid. This is his third year of his rookie deal. He's going to be back next year on his fourth year of his deal. This team is not going to press a young kid to come back when his knee's not ready.
Yeah, it's a really good position to be in as an organization, right? No longer are you just like grasping and hoping that you can get those guys because you're going to rely upon them. Like at this time, Schaff saying the 1 year anniversary, August 2nd, 2024. It was the vibes were low. Like, sure, they had the Zaven Collins extension the next morning, along with the news that BJ was lost for the season. Now it's like, okay, they've got some horses here. They can, they've got more than enough depth to get it done.
I mean, think about Kyler Murray got hurt in November, back December, and was back about a year later. So, and again, listen. It's an injury. It's a case-by-case basis, but we're hearing good things. He'll be back. Cardinals are in a really good spot, injury front. We're in a great spot. 360 watching live. Hit that like button. Again, 500 is the goal. Super chats and more around the corner. It's PHNX Cardinals. Again, big thanks to everybody that's watching the show. Big thanks to our friends at Empire Today. Again, Cardinals laying their foundation. Looks pretty good. How about your foundation, your flooring at your home or otherwise? Empire Today is your best bet for a new floor. They live and breathe flooring, and they're going to be with you every step of the way. Their flooring experts bring the showroom right to you. Pick the right flooring and the right color for your space and see how it looks with your furniture. Again, they've got tile, they've got carpeting, they've got hardwood, whatever you need, they'll hook you up right now with Empire Today. Unlike those competitors, you're going to get clear upfront and all-inclusive pricing. Plus, you can schedule installation as soon as next day because nobody likes to wait. Get precise measurements taken, have all of your questions answered so there are no surprises. Here's the surprise, though. Ahead of your purchase, you're going to get $350 off by using the bonus code PHNX. Again, free home estimate right now. PHNX is going to hook you up. $350 off right now. Go to EmpireToday.com/PHNX. That's EmpireToday.com/PHNX. Restrictions apply. Again, upgrade your flooring today with Empire Today.
$350 off. Put that $350 in the bank. Actually, turn it around and take advantage of the rewards over at Mountain America Credit Union. Of course, everybody needs a checking account. Check them out with their My Style checking account. They got the perks that are just for you. Check it out. How about restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts, and offer on travel and events. So much more with the My Style checking account for your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/mystyle. That's macu.com/mystyle to apply. They just had a great month where they were doubling the rewards points that you could have. Now we're in August. You're looking forward to having the perks of being a member at Mountain America Credit Union. Of course, membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no-cost registration activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply, but make sure to check out all that's going on. Mountain America Credit Union, hundreds of branches through the West with over 1 million members over at Mountain America Credit Union. macu.com/mystyle.
Everybody hit that like button. We appreciate all of you. Any additional takeaways from today before we jump into these super chats?
Well, yeah, we talked about it a little bit, but let's go back over Jonathan Gannon kind of breaking down who was available today, and then we'll give you kind of an update as far as each one of those guys.
A couple guys you won't see. Mike Wilson, the collision is in concussion protocol. Boot is fine. Joey Blunt got a little bit of a bug. He won't be out there today. Marv, we're going to be smart with. He won't be out there today, and he caught the bug too. James Conner, we're going to let him have the day off, and Calais, we're going to let have the day off. So those two kind of just vet maintenance. The other guys should be getting back here pretty soon. Nothing to worry about.
The play from Michael, it seemed like one of those ones where, like, I mean, they're both busting their butt to make a play, and then just something happens. I mean, is that?
Yeah, I call him bang bang. I told Mike. I mean, it's unfortunate what happened, but he can't. That's why I want him to stay up. I know it's hard. That's their instincts to go dive for the ball, but in practice that can lead to some, contact that you don't want to have happen. So I don't fault them, but I don't want them going to the ground either.
Again, Cardinals are in a good spot. JG outlined it, being smart. I'm sure it guts them because they want to put on a good show for their fan base, and they did. It was just a defensive show. But, yeah, no offensive skill players, but we did talk to JG. I asked him specifically on the defensive line, the depth there. One name that you consistently see flash during camp, Dante Stills. Here's JG on the third-year D tackle out of West Virginia.
Yeah, good eye, Johnny. Yeah, he's doing a good job. Monty and I were talking about it in Sears. We were talking about him today. Yeah, he really has. And it's kind of cool because I mean, he's played a lot of good ball for us. He's been a productive player as a pup, I call him. First, second year guy. But he's played good ball for us. But I do feel, I don't want to use the term kind of the light clicked, but I think Debo's doing a really good job. He put a lot into his craft. I know this offseason before we got back for OTAs and then this summer. And I think his understanding of what is going on as it relates to him and other people that he's playing around has helped him. And he's got a skill set, and I think, it's not that he has matured. He wasn't immature when he got here. He's just kind of finding his way. It's year 3 around us, He's a guy that I'm hard on. I will say that. I'm hard on Dante. He knows that. Geez, I'm hard on him. But probably not rightfully so all the time. But he takes it, and he takes the coaching, and he tries to get better. He's doing a good job.
We weren't even going to talk about Dante Stills. You just wanted to have Jonathan Gannon say, "Good eye, Johnny."
It was a good clip. I don't know what you want me to say. I took a lot out of that. That's what you took out of? Sounds like you got real problems. Dante Stills, though, in that group with upwards of 7 defensive tackles that could make this team. He was out there. He started, for what it's worth. I know it doesn't mean much, but he started alongside Darius Robinson and Dalvin Tomlinson. That was the 3 today. And usually it would be Calais, so he was the next man up. But whether it's Dante Stills or LJ Collier, here's something I do want to point out. I point out to my co-hosts, and you tell me if I'm reading too much into this. So there was a point where, all the defensive tackles that we talk about routinely were, on one side. And then I was like, where's Justin Jones? And he was with the special teams. And I'm like, does that indicate, the hierarchy that's going on right now? Or is that just, hey, we need people to play special teams?
I think your point is valid.
Okay.
And then also the latter. They just need guys for special teams. And I think a guy like Justin Jones has got to play his way on this roster. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think that's a fair point.
Baron Browning was out there.
Yeah.
Moving okay. But again, running out of time. Justin Jones has got to have a big preseason. I mean, how does Justin Jones look against the Broncos?
In multiple roles, too.
Yes. Yeah. You have to be able to have scheme versatility. You can't just do one thing. And again, you've always said this, that because they've said it, is that if you've got a game day jersey, you have to have a role. You have to be out there. You have to be making plays. Calais Campbell, we know what his role is. Yep. We know what Dalvin Tomlinson's role is. They were brought in to do a very specific job this offseason. We know what Walter Nolen's role is going to be. And, again, Walter Nolen is trending in the right direction to hopefully be ready to go for week 1. It's the rest of these guys, it's okay, what do you got? Well, I know that L.J. Collier and Dante Stills, when Justin Jones and Bilal Nichols were absent last year, were holding it down the best they could through 17 weeks. That buys them a lot of cachet. I know that Elijah Simmons right now looks good for an undrafted player out of Tennessee. So, again, it feels like I'm knocking these guys consistently, but I mean, you got to show us something. I'm rooting for Justin Jones. Let's fast forward to Kansas City, second quarter, next Saturday, a week from today. It's gets a TFL, gets a sack, right? That's the kind of juice that we want to see where it projects to the regular season. And if not, then we're going to have serious questions of okay, is this worth it?
Are you prepared to push this out to 5 guys that are locks for this roster in that position group?
Give me the 5.
Yeah, Calais, Dalvin, Walter Nolen, Darius Robinson, Dante Stills.
Yes. Yep. I don't think they're cutting Dante Stills.
So you've got those 5 guys.
I think LJ Collier's a lock. I think those are 6.
Well, keep that in mind, okay? So you got those 5 guys, and we think 6 is probably the number consistently through the season, right? Mm-hmm. And we'll see if Walter is available week 1. But look, 5 guys.
I'm under the
Hold
assumption.
on. 5 guys, and then the 6th, maybe 7th, depending on the health, the status of Walter Nolen. The other 1 to 2 guys have to play complementary role, complement the group already in place.
I would say I'm going to operate under the impression that Walter Nolen is going to be ready to go.
Okay.
So if that's, and I feel good about that. If that's the case, Elijah Simmons, I'm going to put on the practice squad right now because I think that Walter Nolen could play some nose. So I will go, and people are going to hate me because I love Elijah Simmons, and hopefully he doesn't get plucked off the practice squad. So it's like Walter Nolen, Darius Robinson, Dalvin Tomlinson, Calais Campbell. I feel like we do this every show.
Yeah.
Dante Stills, LJ Collier. That's 6. And then like Justin Jones would be the 7th in that. I mean, I don't know. It's a really difficult assignment. Here's what I do know. If you're one of the fringe guys, you really need to help yourself the next couple of weeks. Like Bilal Nichols needs to open up his practice window and get out there and start hitting people.
Yeah.
Justin Jones, as we mentioned, needs to make splash plays. If you're Elijah Simmons and you are dominant in the preseason, there ain't no way they're going to subject him to the practice squad. They will have to figure that out because there is significant value in finding a kid that could be the heir apparent to Dalvin Tomlinson making no money as an undrafted player on a 4-year deal. And I'm talking, with all due respect to him, making no money.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the Cardinals were experiencing that with Starling Thomas, who got starting snaps for him, making no money. Go to overthecap.com. Look what the Cardinals were projected to pay Starling Thomas this year. So, again, I think the drop-off has to be significant enough between, like, Justin Jones and Elijah Simmons for them to make some of these calls. So, I'm excited to watch it. Like, preseason, we overhype it
They got to
sometimes.
stay healthy, too. I mean,
Right, for sure.
Health is such a, especially at that position. And you just look at the Cardinals as the case study. It's been a tough go as far as keeping guys healthy there.
We got in the chat Nick saying, or excuse me, Reese is saying Justin Jones is gone. Let's be honest. Like, that's up to Justin Jones. He's healthy right now, and he's out there.
Yeah.
Give him credit. Like, I lump him in a group of Sean Murphy, Bunty, and Bilal Nichols because they had a lot of expectations, and that group has underperformed, I think, to put it mildly. He's the only one of those 3 players that's healthy and is out there.
Yeah.
So give him credit for competing, but you're always going to have a certain level of animosity from a fan base when you spend money on a player and that player just doesn't produce. And again, like, there's a difference between, like, no one has big expectations for Dante Stills as a 6th rounder. And guess what? Then he ingratiates himself with his fan base and wins people over because year after year he's available and he's trying to make plays and he's overcompensating for his draft status. Like, again, like, you can become a fan favorite quickly and then you can fall out of favor quickly.
Sure. You can come a favorite of this show with your super chats.
Yes.
You guys are crushing it as far as just the regular chat, and you guys crushed it out there who joined the State Farm crowd out there. It was great to see everybody in the stands. But no, what do we have as far as those chiming in and sharing some generous dollars?
We got a $1.99 super chat from Ron saying, "Great work as usual, guys. Let's go."
What's up, Ron? Thank you so much for that, Ron. We appreciate you, my guy. And Ron is going to kick us into overtime, I think. OT at State Farm Stadium, something that we've seen a time or two in our time in Arizona. You were here for the fateful playoff game.
Yeah, it was. We had an official give us the new rules breakdown yesterday, and he also was part of the officiating crew for that game, where Larry Fitzgerald went 75 yards and then the shovel pass. He said he'd never been in a louder stadium than State Farm Stadium, and everybody's like, "Cardinals don't have a home field," and all this is like, not when they're good.
Let's win some games.
He had one of the best home fields in the league.
Let's keep it going, Noah.
We got a $10 super chat from Dana targeting Bo.
Dana,
says,
thank you so much.
For birthday caffeine.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, and caffeine is necessary with a 7-week-old at home.
Dana, we appreciate you. We were talking about it before the show. We love all of our listeners. We love our female listeners as well. We had a couple that came up. You had somebody come up to you in the stands, and it's just like everybody's welcome here. And so we appreciate that, Dana. We appreciate your support on the show. It's great to always see you in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Got a $5 super chat from Reese saying, "You never know the longevity of any player. Will Johnson looks healthy to me. I think people will talk about this pick in future years."
Agreed.
I mean, it's, again, why we love the draft. It's It's everything that the Cardinals never got for so long. Chris Johnson going behind Robert Kimdichie. I mean, just sometimes the right move is just staring you in the face. Chris Jones, excuse me, not Chris Johnson. I mean, it's just how many years? Andy Isabella over DK Metcalf and Scary Terry. It's like, are the Cardinals finally the franchise that just does the obvious, right? When the obvious is there, you got teams taking like the Browns, running backs and off-ball linebackers over a number one corner. It's like, well, we don't like his knee maybe 10 years from now. Okay, we'll take him now. Thanks.
Right.
He looks really good.
Following that up, we got Josh with an additional $5. He said, last year the defense couldn't do anything against the offense. This year the defense is having their way. I hope the offense isn't regressing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to put it in a spot for regression. The cliche iron sharpens iron, but you hope that it does put this offense to where it doesn't stunt to some point or get stagnant because the defense is suffocating too much.
They put Kyler Murray's stats on the screen from last year and 21 passing touchdowns. I think he would even tell you, like, get those numbers up, right? And I think the best way to do that is with number 18 and number 85. If number 18 and number 85 are the focal point of your offense, with all due respect to James Conner, who I love, who's top back in franchise history, the offense has got to go through two guys that have Hall of Fame, Pro Bowl, consistent level potential. If you do that, you'll be just fine. Tua Tagovailoa made the postseason because he's got Jalen Waddle and Tua, right? And Tyreek Hill. And I think Kyler Murray is a hell of a lot better than Tua. Yeah. So just rip it to your playmakers. Good things will happen.
A $1.99 super chat from Omni saying, I've read there's some hype for Elijah Simmons.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of hype, but you got to keep it in perspective. Like, this guy played 6 years at Tennessee. He was an undrafted rookie free agent, went through all 7 rounds, didn't hear his name called, and they added some established players and had some established players on the defensive line. It's a tough room to crack.
Yeah, it is. If he's on this team last year, he probably makes the team.
Sure.
So
yes.
I think, and he's coachable, and they love his attitude. I mean, he is the ultimate like gray area fringe guy for a team that has a lot of talent on the defensive line. So I think it's probably coin flip leaning toward practice squad right now, but that could change. And they as Gannon said, they're not in the business of cutting good football players. They want to keep these kind of guys around. These are people that can help them, players that can help them beyond this year.
Then the final super chat we have today is a $0 super chat from Noah saying that
no, we don't read those. We don't read those.
Isaiah
actually.
Adams will be an all-pro guard.
That's your take from today?
Mm-hmm. That's from all of camp so far. He's just nuts.
I like it. I'll reinstate the super chat I tried to cut down. I thought it was going to be maybe borderline offensive and a shot across Johnny and myself's bow. But no, I agree with you. I think I don't understand the Isaiah Adams slander just because of what people thought they saw in a preseason game last year.
I think a lot of it is tied to people's ties and affection for Will Hernandez. And people are like, well, Will's healthy now. Just get him to sub in for Isaiah Adams. And we've been pretty consistent. Like, Evan Brown and Isaiah Adams are going to be the starters on this team. That's how the team operates. We've been consistent with our messaging that if the team had ever, like if Will Hernandez, who we think is going to have a robust market, potentially Dallas, came to the Cardinals and is like, I just want to play here, we'll figure out everything else, I'm sure the Cardinals would be open to that, right? To my knowledge, to our knowledge, that has not been the case yet. So, again, they're operating with the two guys in-house, and if something were to happen, they could potentially pivot. But Evan Brown was really good last year. Isaiah Adams projects to be one of the best run-blocking guards in the NFL. So I think it's more so people love Will Hernandez. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, everybody loves Mijo. Like, if in a perfect world, you could take all the good football players and put them on your favorite team, and it would make sense. But you obviously have to take into consideration, like, opportunities, what Will Hernandez deserves is an opportunity, and what the Cardinals have in place. And Isaiah Adams is the starter. Evan Brown is the starter. And Will Hernandez is on the way back from a knee injury.
Still not signed as of yet. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
We appreciate everybody watching live. Again, hammer that like button. It's been a different training camp, I think, for you and I, just because the expectations now associated with this team as we kind of put a bow on today. We're going to have full coverage this upcoming week. It's game week. We've returned to game week as you'll be back here a week from now. Kansas City comes to town. We'll be able to know if and when the Cardinals plan to play any starters. They have not for the better part of, I don't want to say 2 off seasons, because 2 years ago it was kind of a horror show with what was going on with Colt McCoy. But last year, minimal starters. This year, we will see if anybody cracks that starting lineup. You know, your assessment of the team going into this week and your comparison year by year.
Yeah, I think it's night and day. I mean, you had a young roster, guys trying to prove themselves, where now you've got them established, and then the competition level is at a very high level. So you're seeing that day in and day out, even on the low-tempo days out there in scrimmage, and you're starting to see, you're trying to figure out, it's like, okay, the defense won this rep, and the offense won this rep, or this series, or this point. So you're just seeing a lot of back and forth, and I think that's what you want all the way up until the main event, which is going to be first, in September against the New Orleans Saints, and then the Cardinals are hitting the ground running with for themselves in the regular season. One thing I want to, Nick saying, don't you want as many good O linemen as possible? Absolutely. Like, if they could go to Will Hernandez and say, come in, and we'll figure everything out later. Yeah, you'd love that.
If Will Hernandez's people contact the Cardinals, just like, Will wants to be on the team.
Yeah.
Okay. We would love to have Will Hernandez here. Again, we'll see what transpires, but right now they have their 2 guys in-house because those are the 2 guys that have been healthy all offseason. Like, if Evan Brown wasn't practicing right now, or Isaiah Adams looked really poor, Isaiah Adams, Jonathan Gannon called him like the MVP of practice last week. So, again, just take the coach at face value. I'm not concerned about the guard play. I'm more concerned about the right tackle play, honestly. I think Jonah Williams was up and down last year because of an injury, and he's coming back from an injury still. Like, that to me would be more concerning, because Drew Petzing, say what you want, like, he's been aces with the offensive line, specifically the interior. So I would just take this Cardinal team at face value in general. They have a lot of really good players. Could they add some? Potentially, yes. Maybe an interior lineman, maybe a corner eventually. But I mean, the team that was on the field, not necessarily today, but like maybe a couple of days ago when they were at full strength, should be a playoff team. Like, unequivocally, they have too many good players to miss the playoffs. And, I mean, go player for player, they should contend with the LA Rams for the NFC West. Now, you're not going to hear that from any national show. You've got the fraudulent 49ers out here signing Andy Isabella and Eli Apple, and some people have the Niners in the Super Bowl, which is a flippin' joke. And you got Sam Darnold seeing ghosts in this very stadium, 8 months ago. The Arizona Cardinals are a playoff team as it's currently constructed. I think anything less than that would be a disappointment.
I like that. Nice power statement to wrap up the show.
I learned from the best.
Do you think Eli Apple eats apples?
I think he eats burnt toast because he's terrible.
He eats just big, long receptions and touchdowns against. That's what he has.
That's enough. Become a diehard. Go PHNX.com. Welcome to all of our diehards. We've got our diehard events coming up later this year. And, of course, want to plug this again because we got 350 watching live on YouTube. August 28th, mark your calendars. Live event, free EE, F-R-E-E, emphasis on free 99. Come out to Gila River Resorts and Casinos Wild Horse Pass. We're doing a live show at 4:30 and then a fan event from 6 to 7. Open Q&A season preview with myself and Bo Brock. And then we're having our big fantasy football draft after that, which is open to the community. Come out, have some drinks, food, nachos, wings. We're going to be romping it up with all of you for free at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Again, we're going to use this basically as our appetizer for the regular season. Come out and hang. We want to see you there. Diehards or not, come out.
Like this video. It does wonders for us. Let's get it to that goal of 500 likes here for each and every post. Training camp practice and the scrimmage here in this case. Subscribe to PHX Sports as we make our way towards 50K subscribers. We're thankful for each and every one of you out there. And, of course, if you're listening on podcasts, we're always just talking to our audio listeners as well. Give us a 5-star rating. A review does wonders as well. Have a great rest of your weekend. Cardinals are off Sunday and Monday, but we're not off Monday. We'll be back to you live with a fresh new episode, 4:30. Don't miss it right here, PHNX Cardinals.